everybody. Welcome to the TechRaptor podcast. I'm Robert Scarpanito, your features editor.
And Rotten editor-in-chief.
Rutledge Doggett, site founder.
Andrew Stretch, Teenage Mutant Ninja editor.
Okay. I love that we don't have video live yet. Spoiler, it is coming. But Stretch, I can literally see the gears turn in your brain as you're trying to figure out what editor you are this week.
I did not want to trip out the gate with that, no.
He's also wearing a pizza t-shirt.
Yeah, and he's coming to us live from a sewer, too, which is kind of wild. I didn't know that you got good Wi-Fi.
That's just Florida.
This week we have a lot of news to get through. We're also going to talk about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, which is out now. I'll say it for you, Stretch, on Game Pass, but also a few other things. We're also going to talk. You're welcome. We're also going to talk about Neon White later, but first, let's get into some big announcements. Square Enix held a little, 20-ish minute conference about Final Fantasy VII. Which is actually like 3 or 4 games now. We've officially found out that the remake is a trilogy, with the second game being called Rebirth. And we're also going to see Crisis Core remastered or remade completely, right? Like it looks similar to the 7 remake in a way. And that's called Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
This is fantastic. I'm loving all the people out there that aren't Kingdom Hearts people that are like, what is going on? And it's like, this is fucking Nomura, dude. All this
everything
makes
has become
sense.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Everybody's like, oh, remake, that's just a play on the word remake. It's not actually remake. It's like, fucking, of course it is. Like, yes.
Yes, it is.
This is a sequel.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't name Crisis Core, like it was in Crisis Core Final Fantasy 6.9 or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's right so before good. 7, you know?
Yeah, I wish.
I mean, it's gonna be so weird to have, that game finally off the island in the storm it's been on the PSP for so many years. There was a little bit of surprise that it wasn't one of the games attached to the new PS Plus. But if they're planning on dropping it this winter on absolutely everything that you can buy a video game on, then that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah. I've actually never played the original Crisis Core. I know the story because I've looked it up online because you kind of need to know Zach's whole thing to get the full Final Fantasy VII story.
To pretend like you understand what the fuck is going on.
Sorry, who's Zach?
Exactly.
I'm Cloud.
Yeah. So I am very excited to play it, but I am also very curious because we all know 7 Remake wasn't a one-to-one retelling of the original story. I wonder how much Crisis Core Reunion is going to be a not one-to-one retelling of the original story.
I'm guessing they'll take liberties again in terms of how they want to tell the story and how they want to change things, which I'm cool with because, Remake is solid. I picked it up right after it dropped on Steam the other day, and I've started replaying through it again. And just that opening intro gets me every time.
Yeah, it's so
super hype.
And,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little bit like you. I'm lucky enough to have a PlayStation 5 and a Series X, so I can play games wherever. For the Xbox and Switch fans that will be getting Crisis Core, I wonder how it's going to come across. They don't have access to 7 Remake. They likely won't have access to 7 Rebirth. So, it's really cool to have Crisis Core being on like a new platform for them. But it's like you've now openly admitted that, like, congratulations, Nintendo Switch and Xbox. You guys are going to get a quarter of the games that are part of this new remaster, quadrology, bundle, whatever.
It does kind of feel like what's the point of buying it on a Switch or Xbox? Because I saw that Rebirth, right? That's PS5 exclusive, right? That's the only logo that showed up, not even PS4. So I mean, of course, I'm going to be buying it on there, but I'm I don't know if lucky is the right word, but I have my 7 Remake save on PS4/5, right? So I can carry that over. And that probably means likely I'll be getting Final Fantasy VII. What did we joke? Resurrection?
Rising Vengeance?
Revolver, right? Like whatever the third one's called, I'll probably get that on the PS5. Or 6, depending on how long this dev cycle is, right? Because it just makes sense to kind of keep it in that family, especially if they're going to let you carry over your saves, right?
Yeah. Like there's going to be some kind of, I'm sure even for Crisis Core, it'll be like, oh, we've detected a save for Final Fantasy VII. You can start off with some bonus materia or something. That then I bet what's going to be had is that we'll have we've got the Crisis Cores coming to all platforms. We'll have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is only coming to PS5. And then Crisis Core is going to come out, and we're going to see a wave of news articles saying, wow, how weird is this? Crisis Core only sold 1/8 of its units on Switch. I guess no one wants to play Final Fantasy VII on Switch.
That's wild.
And it's gonna create a weird situation with like, why would you bother?
Do you guys not have PS5s?
And then
I've got my mobile phone.
Yeah.
And Square Enix will sell off some other developer and blame it on that.
Right. Which speaking of phones, though, I mean, just thought I'd throw this out there because in this event they also announced a few updates for mobile games. Anyone give a shit about those, or we kind of moving on?
Battle Royale.
I mean, I played the Battle Royale when it first came out. Yeah, of course I did. I have a problem.
I don't give a crap about the Battle Royale, but the Ever Crisis,
like with the chibi.
Cool. Yeah, it's
That
like the
one
same
was
thing
pretty
that they did with Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition.
Mm-hmm.
But they're meant
that
to
one
be like,
seems to be like a pretty faithful, like it's intended to be, here's the original Final Fantasy VII experience redone, not what they're doing with Remake.
Right.
I believe the elevator pitch that we have for it is that it's meant to be like a episodic kind of shortening, but encompasses all of Final Fantasy VII, including Crisis Core, 7, Dirge of Cerberus. I wonder whether they'll like throw together something for any like movie content.
Advent Children.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's big
part of the
fuck
universe,
off fight
man.
with Bahamut at the end, right?
Right. Oh, and I hope they cover Cloud Stint in the Olympus Coliseum too.
Yes,
I feel like
absolutely.
important. One thing I do want to ask the team here. So we in that event, the Ever Crisis trailer, the chibi mobile game trailer, kind of spoiled a lot of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
So
dude.
much.
And like it's a 25-year-old game, right? So like the moratorium on spoilers is kind of over. But I'm wondering if Square Enix is okay with spoiling that game at the same time they're announcing and confirming the second part of a remake trilogy of the game. Do we think this Rebirth is just going to be completely off the rails? Like, even if you know the exact story, you don't know the story of this. You know what I mean?
I think that's heavily implied in the trailer. Like, I know that they're gonna. They know people are keying in on this. Of like Aerith's talking about how she was like seeing her death but not dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, not to spoil anything, but might be the most well-known thing about Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, she fucking dies in one of the most insane cutscenes ever in any game. Just Sephiroth coming out of the fucking nowhere and stabbing her with like a 12-foot long sword.
Right,
like,
a sword taller than him.
Nothing. And so she seems to imply that event doesn't happen, or at least she saw it happen in another. Everybody's getting into these fucking metaverse timeline bullshit, so maybe it's like another timeline she died. I don't know.
I mean, we're already completely different in a couple areas from the original story.
No, there's tons of big changes.
So,
tons of changes.
But to me, they've been positive changes too. Like it wasn't like, oh, they changed this and this just ruins everything. But we also, in them changing it, we got to see some areas a lot more in depth than we did before. And to me, that's been a positive change. And I'm just ready for part 2 to take us to the Golden Saucer.
Yep. I'm curious if they're ever going to handle the open world part of it or just not make it totally a singular narrative thing.
Just give us a Final Fantasy 2.5 where it's just 60 hours of the Golden Saucer. Done.
Chocobo.
It's just a bunch of
Chocobo
mini-games.
races. Yeah, we're good.
They call it Final Fantasy VII Rejoice.
Well, no, that'll be when that game comes out. There'll be a mobile game where you can gamble, and they'll call it Golden Sauce or something, and then you can pay money into it in microtransactions.
This is going to be a weird throwback, and it will not only show off my obscure knowledge, but also my
I know what you're about to say.
Xbox fandom. Fable 3.
Okay.
They had a mini game in Fable 3 that you could generate money with. Yeah. But there was also a Windows Phone app of that mini game that you could like build up and like get all of, get a shit ton of gold in the mobile game, and then you could transfer it all to the real game.
Yeah, and they had that full standalone game before Fable 3 launched that you could just be playing games like the bar mini games ahead of time.
Peter Molyneux was ahead of the time, man.
That.
WoW did something similar with an app. They had some app where you could do stuff for a while, the Garrison stuff.
The Garrison stuff, that was Warlords of Draenor. They had the Auction House app for a while.
Yeah.
Couple other things.
That would be kind of neat if they put stuff like Chocobo Racing or, some of the other in-game mini games in like shortened forms on mobile devices to let you like play while you can't
that would need Square Enix to think outside the box. Get out of town.
I mean,
think outside the square.
Oh, boo!
I think they've done that before, though. I mean, kind of. They've done the thing where, like Final Fantasy XIV, there's like the companion mobile app. It's not like you can actually play the game with the mobile app, right? But there's a lot of like connecting between the two, so you can kind of like check in on the game while you're away from your computer.
Well,
so they're
also
not strangers to that.
They're also selling us a mobile and console port of a retelling of the same PSP game in like the same window of time. So they're definitely trying weird things. You will play Final Fantasy VII whether you like it or not
for the rest of your life.
It is wild to me still that this is game 7 of a mainline series of a series that's now going on to game 16 of the mainline titles. And now we're just getting a universe made out of 7, which came out like 25 years ago. That's so weird.
Can I amend that this is actually game 2 of 4 games of game 7 of a franchise with 16. Yeah. It's like there's a lot going on. Right?
Do we think that Square Enix is going to pay any manner of attention, aside from in the mobile game, any amount of attention whatsoever to Dirge of Cerberus?
I hope so.
I mean, they've already with the integrate stuff they did. They've
mentioned it.
Are we gonna get like a remake, a port, like
not like Crisis Core? No.
I wonder if it'll just be integrated somehow or addressed in the second or third part of the remake.
Yeah, just like have him. Like, Vincent walks away and turns back to the camera, winks and says, "I'll see you in the next game." Then like a short advertisement plays and then it goes to the cloud.
Yeah, right. Or they walk by a TV and they see trailers for Verum Rex and a Dirge of Cerberus game. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Haley Joel Osment is there just as Haley Joel Osment, like, "Hey guys,
it's me."
Now we're gonna. It's like Dirge of Cerberus. We're gonna get spin-offs of every character is gonna get their own game.
Oh, actually, what if they do a Rebirth Intergrade and that, like, we got the Yuffie episode. What if they do like a Vincent episode and the Vincent episode is basically Dirge of Cerberus?
That's actually probably gonna be it. Some condensed form of it.
I guess
I'm
it'll
cool
be.
With that.
Yeah, that makes sense. As the other optional party member,
a Barrett first-person shooter, a Tifa fighting game. A Cloud hack and slash,
a Kate Sith match 3 game
that would seem to fit. Or some kind of Bejeweled game.
a Zack squatting game.
Red 13 is some Nintendogs game.
Yeah,
an airship racing game with Sid.
Yeah. Perfect.
See, Square, call us up. We got ideas.
Yeah. We got the plans.
We got you.
We have the next 30 years of Final Fantasy VII games planned out for you.
And then we're ready for 8 and 9.
I cannot wait for maybe.
What?
Well, so it's this winter, right? For Zach's
this
story.
winter is Crisis Core Reunion.
Yeah,
next
episode
winter
Zach.
is 7 Rebirth, and then we've got 16 in between those.
Yeah, 16 summer 2023 allegedly, right?
Which is
Final
just
Fantasy coming.
bonkers.
Final Fantasy fans are eating well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm here for it. And especially if you start including like other Square games like Kingdom Hearts stuff that's in the works too. Like,
right.
The amount of announcements we've had over the last like 3 months, just...
Yeah, I remember just like 2-3 weeks ago, we were all looking at winter and we're like, man, it's pretty dire this holiday season, huh?
Now I want to die.
Yeah, what 2 weeks of not E3 can do, huh?
What do you mean? There's still like nothing.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure.
My spreadsheets need to have a word with you.
I'm not saying that as a joke either. There's not much. If you are a AAA gamer, like most people are, like they just want to play the biggest stuff, there's not much to look forward to in the winter. There's Pokemon.
That's where they need to, start looking around.
Like, to be fair,
yes, I agree with you, but I'm just saying a lot of people, other than like,
to be fair, too, I feel like just Pokemon, quote unquote, is enough for a pretty sizable chunk of those.
For a lot of people,
AAA
but
gamers.
but like we're not having an annual Call of Duty at the same time and some other big AAA franchise.
But I mean, we're getting like Midnight Suns, Gotham Knights, Pokemon, Callisto Protocol, Forspoken. If you count September, Lord of the Rings Gollum, Dark Tide, Evil West.
This episode, Zach.
Zach. Yep. So I mean, even if it's not full AAA, there's a ton of AA indie stuff that's coming out. That
I'm
going to be
saying
monstrous.
I am one of those people. I'm just saying there are a lot of people that are that.
I think it sounds like exactly like you're one of those people.
Wow.
Shame to you. Shame to you, Andrew.
God,
what
play
kind
more
of
than just AAA.
What kind of games do I usually talk about on here?
Touche.
It's mostly Warcraft 3.
That's
I could talk about that.
Let's not, though.
I haven't
Not
found
that
the
part of
I haven't found the
Warcraft
dick
3.
pic yet.
Okay.
You will know the day. This podcast will not move forward until I address it.
For sure.
We will not do that screen share on video, though.
No.
You will be banned that week.
That'll be the week before the podcast gets canceled.
Well, it's better for that than. Well, never mind.
Something I do want to ask the team too. So I was thinking of this before they even announced or confirmed like what Rebirth is going to be. So when you think of like power scaling in a game, I feel like Remake, like that single part of it, by the time you get to the end of the game, you feel pretty strong, right? Not like Knights of the Round strong, but pretty strong, right? Is there any worry about how they're going to continue to power scale when they're jumping from one game to the next and then possibly to the third?
I guess it's a question of how things transfer over. Like, do you start over again to where you're like, here's your baseline materia?
You got to start over again.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way they can address it.
Although,
especially since you could max to 99 in
the
part 1, I think, right?
The original, like I mentioned
50.
before, like it's the Sephiroth fight. He literally destroys like a fucking solar system with a spell to throw at you. So like maybe they're just be like, you know what? We'll let it go fucking wild at the end.
Universes.
I would be
My
like,
guess would
that's cool with me.
Because you get to level 50 by the end of the main game, I believe is the soft cap there, or hard cap there. My guess would be that like we're gonna start game 2 and all of your characters will be level 45, and you'll have like, depending on your save file, you might have like, the really good pack of materia that you get, the okay pack of materia that you get, the basic, or just like starting nothing if you don't have a previous save file. I don't think that we're going to see much importing. Like I spend a whole lot of time like 100% maxing out pretty much every single materia I own. I have no disillusion that I'm not going to be carrying any of that progress over. If they do it, cool. If not, whatever.
do you think they're going to do the Horizon Forbidden West thing where, oh no, on the way out of Midgar, we lost all of our shit. It just fell off a mountain or something. I guess we have to start from the beginning.
They explained it a little more than that.
They could definitely do that.
I think it's. I don't even think they're
they
going
had to like rush out of the city right after the Shinra building. Like, there's no time to like go back to the base.
Well, maybe they'll say that big thing with Sephiroth fucked everything up.
Yeah, like it destroyed some of their weapons or something.
But they might also just not address it and be like, yeah, we're moving. The story's moving on, but gameplay, combat wise, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the future looks very bright for Final Fantasy. And that event happened at the same time Capcom did the second of their 2 streams last week. That was all about Dragon's Dogma's 10th anniversary, where they also announced Dragon's Dogma 2.
At the very end, after spending a long time just talking about developing the original game. Like a long time.
And all we got was like a logo. So I don't know about you guys, but I am getting some Bayonetta 3 vibes.
Does it exist?
Yeah, or Metroid Prime 4, maybe.
We'll have to wait until we see the lead developers pleading with people on Twitter to play Dragon's Dogma 1 so that the story is 100% better for Dragon Dogma 2.
Well,
also played Dragon's Dogma 1.
It is like, so here's the thing. I do feel like Dragon's Dogma 2, if it delivers, it'll deliver very well, because Dogma 1 felt like a nice proof of concept.
Absolutely.
That kind of meandered and fell a little bit flat. But if they take the core of Dragon's Dogma 1 and then like spice it up, beef it up, and whatever, punch it up for 2, I'm very excited for whatever that's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a unique game that's surprising it's that they weren't doing more stuff with it sooner. And it makes you wonder if they'd made it just a few years after that, if it would have exploded a little more, because it's Souls-likey enough to where those people that like those games would probably enjoy that. Like, it's not 1-to-1 at all. It's not. To call it a complete Souls-like is not accurate, but it's definitely closer to that vein than your normal like hack and slash kind of game. It's definitely closer to Dark Souls. And I think it came out the year after Dark Souls, maybe 2. It was really close. So it makes you wonder now that there's just such a craze for so many people for those kind of games, if it would have been a more popular thing at the time. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't pursue more, because it does a bunch of unique stuff.
There are 6,000 people playing it right now, and up until that point, the average had still been like 1,500. So,
still pretty good for it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
It outdoes some like a lot of new releases. Like that's pretty impressive.
Like Babylon's Fall.
Like Babylon's Fall.
Babylon's Fall.
Like,
well, 10 years from now,
Netflix
we'll
show.
get Babylon's Fall too.
Yeah. Well,
oh yeah, there was the Netflix show.
Yeah.
Dragon Dogma. So it's been thought about. Really wonder how long they've been working on Dragon Dogma 2 then. Or was the show some weird, like, if that seems to do okay, that
market research
it's popular. Who knows?
Well,
I could see that.
I think what I'm most excited for is, I mean, this is Hideaki Itsuno, right? This is the guy who Devil May Cry 5 is back, baby, in 2018. But that was him. He was behind that, right? Like, I mean, he was the longtime director for that series since I think 2 or 3. But, you know, he spearheaded how 5 was like a return to form and was so good, like truly one of the funnest action games you can play right now. So if he's also spearheading this with Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm excited. I'm here for it, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see how they modernize it and still kind of keep what made it special. And that's always the tricky part, right? I think Final Fantasy VII Remake's a good example of that. They completely changed the battle system, but still kept a lot of what everyone loved about it.
Yeah. Right. My guess would be is that they're going to lean more into the Dark Souls like combat, because it is proven to be very popular, obviously. But they've also there's so much cool stuff that does it. Like, you're grabbing onto big old monsters and stabbing them, very Shadow of the Colossus-y. stuff's going on with. So I'm hoping that will still remain in there, and it would be really dumb if they got rid of it because that was a very unique thing that games still don't really do very often. But
yeah, and I'm wondering too if from a Capcom perspective they're seeing this as like a future tentpole for them, right?
Potentially.
Because they had that the other Capcom Direct earlier in the week where they had I think it was mostly Resident Evil, right? Like there wasn't really any. No, there was Exoprimal, the Dino Crisis, but not Dino Crisis.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, the Sunbreak.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was their like, here's all the updates from Capcom. And they shouted out like, we're going to have a Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary event. Please tune in on Thursday or whatever it was. So clearly from a PR perspective, they thought, okay, Dragon's Dogma 2 is such a big deal that we don't want to play that 15-second clip of the logo during our Resident Evil / Sunbreak stream. It's important enough to get its own standalone stream. You know,
which would have worked towards marketing hype. Like, I think that it had a huge impact to everyone who was looking forward.
It's unfortunate Final Fantasy decided to do the same time.
But at the same time,
I mean,
I just had them up side by side.
Well, if you look at how Capcom has kind of worked recently, like we did not recently, a while ago after 2019 ended, we did the best games of the decade, the top 100. No other company showed up more often than Capcom. And that surprised me.
Yeah.
So Capcom has been like, they've really nailed what they've been doing lately. All the Resident Evil remake stuff that they've been doing. The Monster Hunter is like the biggest it's ever been by far.
Yep.
Like they have whoever's making these big time decisions seems very plugged in with making the right ones.
Right.
So the idea that this could be their big fantasy franchise, absolutely, it could be. Anyway, like you said, if they have him in charge, making it, it's Suno. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like Capcom rarely misses. Like the last big miss I can think of is Street Fighter V, and even then, since launch, it has become an actual good Street Fighter game. So they know what they're doing for the most part, which is why with all of this fluff up, I want to say, please bring back Mega Man X. I will buy Mega Man X9. Yeah. Just
Mega Man Legends 3.
Battle Network.
Sure.
Yeah, Battle Network is
like pretty much anything Mega Man that isn't OG Mega Man.
Yeah, they seem to be like
for
some reason not touching Mega Man much.
They just double down on OG Mega Man.
Yep.
That not to knock the OG Mega Man, but in terms of like ease of access, like lowered barrier to entry, that's got to be the worst.
I also wonder. Yeah. I wonder how much of the lack of Mega Man comes from Inafune leaving.
Well, he's off doing Mighty Number 9 too.
Well, and he was really. Wasn't he more of a character guy, not necessarily the developer guy?
I mean,
he's an artist.
He was one of the 3 designers of a lot of them, I believe. I'd have to go one by one, but I know he had a lot of involvement.
Right. Yeah, but I don't know. Capcom's on a roll. I feel like you can pick up any Capcom game on the shelf right now and
pretty much
you'll probably have fun with it as long as you vibe.
Yeah, if it's that genre you like, they've kind of they've I think they have absolutely revitalized horror. Resident Evil 7 coming out just opened the door, exploded since then.
Yeah. What's kind of funny, they've definitely reinvented and repushed for horror Resident Evil, and now we're about to get 4 or 5 months of good looking horror titles coming up at the end of this year. But then it's interesting, with such a boom to the Souls-like gameplay style titles, that we've been seeing so many more of those as well, with Mortal Shell, even breaching into the 2D Souls-like Salt and Sanctuary. I think the latest one didn't review quite as well, but they're not only setting trends, but they're also recognizing trends and following them in a timely manner. It's not like, the other companies that you see that are only just getting into NFTs and stuff. And it's it was already a flash in a pan, but the fact that it's taken you 6 to 10 months longer to to see that flash in the pan and attempt to capitalize it, it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Capcom, I think, is one of the best run companies going right now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolute, like, fingers on the pulse.
And what's crazy about that is that so many people I don't think realize it. Like, oh yeah, that's a Capcom game. Like, some people I don't think associate a lot of stuff with them still. Where it's like, yeah, they own, like, Street Fighter 5 still is one of the biggest fighting games in the world until 6 comes out. And, like, they almost are, like, the top tier of anything they step their foot in.
Yep. Ace Attorney, big one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, huge.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
If they don't let that one die,
I hope not.
It's also kind of for Ace Attorney and for Monster Hunter World. Those in the West, at least, have just been gaining popularity crazy as well. So it's like, not only are they sticking to their guns of what was working, but what was working is now working even better. With minimal formula change.
Hey, I would love. Let's see them bring back Okami in some way. Let's do that.
Okami 2.
Hey,
Okami VR would be tight.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the Sonic Frontiers is coming out soon, so you'll get your Okami fix kind of from that. It'll be similar enough, I think.
Yeah, did you see the fucking gall of their like director or whatever? He's like, they haven't seen enough of the gameplay to make a judgment yet. It's like, dude.
Yeah, they don't understand.
If you have to say that, you're fucked. Like.
Also, more stuff has been coming out, like showing off Frontiers from Keeley 3 and stuff, with like the HUD in place, and it's looking like it's working much smoother. There's still kind of the weird uncanny valley Roger Rabbit-esqueness of seeing a rotund blue hedgehog rolling around at
the speed of sound,
picturesque field, and then a giant robot shows up out of nowhere. Like, there's still clashing art styles going on, but it's not looking as bad as it was in the IGN month of discovery, which I guess is still happening, right? Like, we're still probably going to see some more things from a very old demo build of it. Like,
maybe
what?
And I thank you for the reminder, Stretch. That's another big tentpole release for the holidays this year.
Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers.
I feel bad for.
Gotta buy fast.
I feel bad for the kids that are going to get that.
Yeah, same. Our last bit of news. It's a very Japan-centric news hour this week. I just realized, but we got some rumors about a new Fire Emblem game, which makes sense. We're kind of due for one because Three Houses was in 2019, I believe.
Like that.
And I guess this Friday we're getting that Warriors Muso spinoff of Three Houses, Three Hopes. But this rumor looks like it's about a more classic strategy Fire Emblem game where the protagonist has very long blue and red hair that I have seen people affectionately refer to them as Pepsi Clash, which I'm here for that.
It reminds me of the protagonist from Shin Megami Tensei 2. No, sorry, 5.
5.
Yeah, with like
the Naho
like super Naho. Yeah, I don't remember. I reviewed that. I don't remember what they called the protagonist. Yeah. But the very like beautiful long wavy hair. It's an interesting look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is
just
very interesting.
Couldn't decide which starter Pokemon to pick, so they picked both.
Yeah, because there are only 2 in Pokemon.
Well, no one picks Bulbasaur anyway, so it was only realistically down to 2.
Mm-hmm. I would apologize to all of our Bulbasaur fans out there, but I know there are very few. So
you guys are so fucking wrong. Pokemon stuff. So wrong.
Bulbasaur's
still better than
what's your starter?
Squirtle, of course.
Squirtle, yeah, sure.
So it kind of proves
but all 3 of the Gen 1 starters knock all the other ones out of the park. They can all fuck off.
Sure. Well, was that your first Pokemon game?
What's that?
Was that your first Pokemon game? Because if it is, that's probably why.
I still think Gen 2 is better than it, but
Gen 2 is excellent.
Yeah, it is.
Pokemon sucks though. So.
I know there have been rumors going around too that Nintendo's going to have a big old Nintendo Direct toward the end of June. I think June 29 is the leading rumor.
I think June 30th.
Is it? Because I've seen Alana Pierce said the 29th, I believe.
I thought she said 30. Whatever Alana Pierce said is the current running rumor, because of course it is.
Right. So whenever that Nintendo Direct is, right, that's likely maybe when we'll see Fire Emblem, among lots of other things probably.
When's the next Mario coming, man? The next
Mario Odyssey
Mario. 2? It's been a while. 5 years.
We just got
I'm so disappointed we never got DLC for that.
Right? See, it's perfect. Yeah. They did this. Yeah. This little world just thing.
Another kingdom or two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd have been down for that. Odyssey's great.
Mm-hmm. No, I think I'm very excited for this new Fire Emblem, because I think Three Houses is easily one of the best Fire Emblem outings maybe ever. Like, if anyone's ever interested in that series, that's probably what I'd recommend them first.
It's easily also the most approachable one.
Yes.
Because Path of Radiance is also, to me, extremely, extremely good, but it's also like very old school and like, hey, you could just be fucked, and that's the end for you. Like,
it's pretty obtuse. Yeah.
Permadeath.
Oh, did you not play optimally for 20 hours?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Looks like you won't be making it the last 10.
You're screwed. No, you can't go back.
Yeah. Because I think I definitely prefer these sorts of Fire Emblem games than like the Warriors types. I played Fire Emblem Warriors back in the day. Man, it's a Warriors game, you know? In a way that I think Persona 5 Strikers didn't revolutionize or revitalize the formula a little.
Well,
they're all
Strikers was a good like merge. It wasn't a reskin of Musou to just like look like a new game. They did a really good job meeting the formula halfway, and for two game franchises with such strong formulas, that could have been really good or really bad, and they pulled it off.
Exactly. But I don't know, Fire Emblem fans, be happy. I know, Austin, you're hearing. You better be listening. So I hope you're happy and excited as well.
I hope he's not listening.
Yeah, I guess same.
He listened to last week's.
Only because you called him out on Slack.
I'm about to start talking shit about stuff Austin likes now. Fire Emblem sucks.
Sure, yeah.
It's just a dating sim.
Yep, that's it.
Dating sim with squares. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Let's move on and talk about some of the games. It's too anime for you. This new one looks anime as fuck. So
that's right.
You'll be fine.
Very anime.
Let's talk about Shredder's Revenge, the latest TMNT game, side-scrolling, brawl 'em up, beat 'em up.
Speaking of anime,
yeah, my favorite anime is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Stretch, Rut, y'all have been playing Shredder's Revenge?
Yeah, it has been an absolute blast. Just the loading up the intro alone, and seeing all of like the classic, the classic animation style, the classic tracks, and then just dropping into all of the beat 'em up levels. The animation design is so good, so fluid. There's some really fun like comedy moments and like cameos from the totally not Battletoads, which is really neat. But I've been playing majoritively on my own, but just hopping into other random people's games. The matchmaking in it works so well. You can just walk to whatever level, pull up the lobby screen, and it's like, oh, these people are currently, like, this party of 3 people is currently 80% of the way through the level. This party of 5 people is 10% of the way through the level. Like, it's so easy to, even if you just have like 5-10 minutes to play a level, I've just been loading it up, dropping in, beating the shit out of some people, and heading off. I'm like 90% of the way through the game, and I've probably replayed most levels at least 4 or 5 times based on just where whatever party I've randomly joined up to is in the world. But it's stupid fun. The 6-player gets too chaotic, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Especially with like Donatello's super attack is just a giant like purple flashing sphere that he creates around him, that covers probably like a good eighth of the screen. So as soon as like you have Donatello doing one thing and Mikey spinning with a different attack and April O'Neil spinning with a different attack and enemies are flying everywhere because they're all getting like knocked and re-knocked, and like even if the enemies are dead, they still have the knockback. So they'll just like be chaotically bouncing around. It is ridiculous. My favorite button on the controller is the left trigger, which makes the little icon appear above your character to say, yeah, you're this one, in the mess of green and flashing effects and enemies and bodies going everywhere. Hey, you're right here. Remember this.
Yeah, I was going to ask if they have some sort of thing. Because like when you said chaotic, it made me think of like 8-player Smash. And at least in that, you can have like the arrow above pointing, at like your character.
They're kind of like how they have for the latest Smash's team modes. I kind of wish that they could have like a glowing outline that like sits above all of the other layers. Just for like, hey, this is you. Like, don't do it for any of the players that you're playing with online, but just a way to find yourself in the chaos, I think would be quite nice. But I've also got a button that like makes an arrow temporarily appear to point to me, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, the most powerful button.
Yeah. I have had some pretty weird glitches as well, though. Like, levels just not loading in any characters. But it was definitely that was something that was happening on my side. The glitches that I've experienced have all been on the ones that you're like riding your like jet skateboard thing. So one of the early levels that you need to fight a bat dude at the end of the level, but when like me and my party of 4 other people loaded in, I had no enemies appear. Like the stage hazards showed up. No enemies loaded in, stage hazards loaded in, none of the players loaded in, no health bars loaded in. I could hit the left trigger and like no icon was appearing, whatever. So I was just like watching enemies get beat the shit everywhere, but like invisibly. And then one of the optional goals of that level is to finish the level without getting hit by 3 hazards, and to finish the level without dying. And I got both of them by my game just not loading me in. And then I kept playing the game.
Very skilled.
Wow. So you're saying that you glitched the game to get an achievement.
Cheater.
No, it wasn't an achievement. It did not net me an achievement.
Yeah, every level has like challenges you can complete, like don't get hit or stuff
all
like that.
All I hear is that you exploited the game.
Yeah, and for something that actually matters, not an achievement, but something like in the actual game. Yeah,
it's even more serious now.
What I'm saying is, if you're playing this game and playing online, if you don't have friends like me, that expect your fair share of glitches, because they will happen, but they might work in your favor sometimes.
Yeah, we had one where we were fighting an enemy, and he's like, fuck this, I'm out. And he ran off the screen. We sat there for 3 minutes until he came back. Because you can't go backwards. Like, he went back through the level. And we're like, okay, we can't move forward. We can't go backwards. I guess we're just going to sit here for a minute and wait for him to come back.
Oh, that's weird. So you've been running into your fair share of glitches too, right?
That was really the only one we ran into. And we've played, 20 levels or so. I'm playing with a group of 5 other people tomorrow night from work. That we're gonna get a group of 6 and have some fun.
Hell yeah!
I like that I was not invited to this group.
You don't work at my day job.
Day job. Oh, I thought you were talking TechRaptor.
Yeah.
Never mind.
This isn't work.
My sad puppy dog eyes. I formally rescind.
Yeah, you broke his heart. I could see it on his face, crestfallen.
We could get a TechRaptor one going. I'd be down for that.
We don't play games though, so
yeah. We just review them.
Game's pretty lame.
Yeah.
We take the money for the score and then just make stuff up for the review.
Right. Yeah. Like however much they pay us, we plug it into a formula, and that determines the score we give the game.
Yeah.
We need a flashing sign that says, "Yes, this is a joke."
Inside baseball of how it works around here.
Yeah.
Hey, IGN just does it
Inside
on a bigger
baseball
scale.
slam dunk.
Just 10 out of 10. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, so is that how are you guys feeling about Shredder's Revenge overall? Are you thinking like
I'm
Game
not
of the Year
typically someone who
potential?
plays a lot of like beat 'em up games, but I'm having a great time.
That is the same for me. I think I played one level just completely solo, and I felt very bored at the end of that 5 minutes. But exclusively going in and hopping into random other people's games, it has the chaos of a 6-player multiplayer game without the need to, coordinate and invite a whole bunch of people over, sync up controllers, yada yada. It's been an absolute blast to play.
Nice?
Yep,
All
definitely
right.
recommended. And if you have Game Pass, it's on there.
Right
Yeah.
there. No, on
Play it, it's
Xbox
free.
Game Pass or PlayStation Game Pass?
Xbox Game Pass. So we don't talk about the other one.
Nah, right.
Scrappy, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Neon White. It's that new game from Ben Esposito, the Donut County guy. But it's on Switch and PC. I've been playing it on Steam. And it's, from a gameplay standpoint, it's a first-person shooter, I guess is how you describe it. But so you get cards. You pick up like these cards around the level. And the cards represent guns. So you can get like a pistol or an assault rifle, right? And you can use up the bullets in the card, I guess. Or you can right click to discard the card, and that gives you different abilities. So like the pistol, right? You can shoot it like 7-8 times to kill demons as you run around the level. Or you can discard it and get a double jump. The assault rifle, you discard it, you throw a grenade, but if you jump near the grenade, it gives you like a boost, like you go higher,
Halo grenade
move
jump.
faster.
Yeah.
A Halo grenade jump, yeah. So you could think of this game as a shooter, but really it's a speedrunner. It's all about getting to the end as fast as you can, and to unlock the end of the level, you have to kill all the demons in the room. So it's all about like constantly replaying, like the F button on your keyboard just resets the level because they know you want to like keep going and retrying so you can get the best score. And it is just so much fun doing that and figuring out like the paths. And as you get like shorter times, as you get quicker and faster on it, they unlock more things that help you get even faster. So like at some point you unlock like
That's
a
fun.
ghost. So you can see like your latest like speed, and then they unlock like a hint that could show you a shortcut. And it isn't until you quote unquote ace the level, like you platinum the level, then they unlock the leaderboard, like global leaderboard. So you aren't even trying to think about how fast other people are doing it until you've gotten good enough where you're like, okay, I think I've gotten pretty good at this level, which is a nice little like bonus reward for doing well in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but just the charm, there's something about the aesthetic that's so charming and so fun, and the music is great, and you're just running around and it feels so responsive. And just it's like Doom in how it feels really good to play, but it's not as like visceral or violent. It's like if Doom was just about movement.
And are you playing this on Steam or on your Steam Deck?
On Steam, on my PC, keyboard and mouse.
Okay.
Because I'm feeling like it's you want to move fast and you want to look around fast. So I figure the mouse is probably good for that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And there's a story to it too. And it feels very Persona. I mean, that's probably part of why I'm digging this so much. It's like you were a criminal in a past life, and then you die and you go to heaven, but you're not a good person. So you have to like earn the right to get into heaven. But so do a bunch of other bad people. So...
So it's like a King of the Hill contest for a whole bunch of really bad people to see who can become the most goodest.
Yes, or who can kill the most demons to earn the right to get into heaven, basically.
Dope.
Lots of big voice actors on it. I mean, Annapurna published it, so they have a lot of connections, right? Like I think Steve Bloom voices your main character, so you're basically playing Spike Spiegel.
Hey.
Hey, yeah, Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, it's
I
very
love that
cute,
on Netflix.
very fun. The Netflix adaptation. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why do you
Yeah,
like
Neon
bad
White just
stuff?
It ticks a lot of boxes for me. I don't know. There's something about it that's just like I just want to go back and play it more right now. Honestly, like the speed running aspect, the whole like you're challenging yourself to do better and faster. And it's not like a difficult game. I wouldn't say like you're gonna fail a lot. If anything, the failure comes from, oh, you took 2 seconds longer to beat the level, but you're still gonna beat the level. You know.
Games with those fast resets is always really nice. Like if they're expecting you to do it 100,000 times and it's just like single button press, you're back at the beginning. That can really make those kinds of games addictive.
Oh yeah, because it can be like the whole you fuck up in the first second and you're like, okay, that's fine, I can just reset until I get a good start, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still want to play more of it because I've only gone through the first 10 levels, and if I had to guess, it seems like a game that's gonna have at least 50, if not more. Mm-hmm. So I want to see more of what's been going on with it to really like before I pass any real judgment on it. Mm-hmm. But so far it's pretty addicting. Oh yeah, it checks the boxes. And I can't wait to see what other powers they have too. Because like there's also the other demon, or not the demons, the other bad people, the other neons, what they're called. You knew them in a past life, but your character has amnesia because of course he does. So you try to befriend them again, and that's also very Persona. Like you give them gifts, and then you like reach a new milestone, and you unlock new dialogue, and then in some cases
all done in like menus.
Yeah, it's all in menus. And as you do that, you unlock like levels that you can play that are based on the character. So there's one character who's like Neon Violet. She's cutesy, but also like thinks gore is cute. Sure, right? Viscera and bunnies, same thing. So for her stage, there are basically spikes everywhere on the grounds, on the wall. So it's like all about like it's sadistic and torturous, right? So you have to jump around and try to navigate to the end of that level without touching the spikes. So it like reflects her personality in a way.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I might have to pick that up. That sounds very like anime archetypes, everything thrown in death game kind of feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You might like it because like there's one character, Neon Yellow, I think, who allegedly was your best friend in the past life. Mm-hmm. And when you don't remember him, he's like, "I was your Sasuke, bro." Like, yeah.
I briefly looked up the cast list. I'm gonna guess that's Someone Cho.
I don't know for sure. I'd have to check to be sure. But yeah, that's Neon White. Highly recommend. It's an Annapurna game, so it has a lot of the weird shit, but it is hitting in all the right ways.
Well, not only Annapurna, but it's like you said, Ben Esposito.
Esposito. Oh yeah,
does weird shit.
Yes, it's weird on weird, but it's very good. And like even if you filter out all the weird shit, if you're just a game mechanics person, the mechanics in this are very rock solid. Like things will just unlock and click in your brain, and when you get a fast score, there's a good chance you're going to feel like, I just did something fucking cool. Like that looked cool to do, like that sort of feeling. Yeah. Auden, do you want to tell us about Kittens Game?
That is the name.
Actually,
I will tell you.
Do we want to know about Kittens Game? Because
is this Hello Kitty Island Adventure?
How dare you? I'm trying to spread awareness of obscure stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Stuff people may not have heard of.
Is this Stray prequel?
No, it's a lot.
I want that game.
It's next month. It was the best game shown at every showcase per our polling.
Oh, Stray.
Our polling.
Oh, yes. I get it.
So Kittens Game is they build themselves as the Dark Souls of like idle clickers.
Okay.
Oh no!
All right, I'm already on board.
So
let's go.
I can't remember how I found out about it, but I only let if I was playing, if I had it on at home, that's all I would be focused about is min-maxing that stupid fucking game. And so I have it on at work in like a separate browser because it'll just keep running.
Yeah, and
so it's kind of like, and I'm sure people are familiar with the paper clips idle clicker, which just goes fucking batshit, where you're like solving world hunger, like insane stuff starts happening.
Yeah, you cure cancer with the power of paper clips.
With just by selling absurd amounts of paper clips. And so this has a similar vibe to that, but it is so much more in depth. Like, you start from, like, of anything, like you're building a community and you're gathering catnip. That's what you feed your kittens.
Sure.
And you make logs out of catnip to make wood, and it goes from there.
What?
It goes from there. And like eventually science gets into it, where you're having to have scientists and a science like currency to develop technologies. And then you get a culture thing that you build up to build up culture things. Like, are you going to build a fascist kitten government? If you want to, there's certain benefits. Are you going to be a communist government? I don't know.
Isn't that just Cult of the Lamb? Aren't we already getting that game?
It goes that far, and eventually you get to the point where you're like a space comes into it, where you're launching rockets and satellites and doing space missions onto different planets, which gives you different resources, which gives you different upgrades. It takes for fucking ever. Also, like, I've had the first one. I've been playing it probably now for over a month, probably 2 months. It's just always on, and it's long. It's long. Every day at work, it's the first fucking thing I open and just throw it in a tab. It's just sitting in a tab. I don't have to pay attention to it. I come and look at it every little bit, and then I go away from it.
It's amazing.
So, but like, you go through runs with it, and once you get to a certain point, like, you kind of hit a ceiling where you're like, boy, it's taking me for fucking ever to get the next thing. Like, by forever, I mean, it might take you 12 hours of real time to get that thing. So, like, my first run was basically that first month. And by that, and I worked, I don't know how many hours of work, but let's just say it's close to 200 something hours that first run. Let's just say somewhere around in there.
Sure.
And so, it wants you to go through these runs, because when you reset, depending on how far you made it and how many kittens you had, how big your population was, you get these certain points that carry over into your next run. And it's called, the more points you have, the more resource, like it affects your resource collecting, which means you'll get to things quicker. And then there's another set of resources you can get that will give you like permanent upgrades between runs. So like most idle clickers that I've ever experienced, other than I haven't done any of the ones that are on your phone, which probably are meant to never end ever because they're stupid. Yeah. But like the ones that kind of have a point, like there's some fun ones out there, like the Paperclips one, because it just gets batshit. But you can finish that relatively quickly, like a couple of days if you're doing it and you just have it on somewhere. It seems like this will take you 6 months. Of trying, like, I'm not idling it. Like, they have systems in place where you can idle it at like night if you wanted to, and like just have it going all the time to collect this stuff. Like, you could have it running 24/7.
That could just be our B-roll for the podcast going forward. It's just us talking in the middle.
No,
I don't want this on at home. I'm dead serious. I don't, because there's certain moments
you get addicted
when that game's on. It's like, oh, I got this, but I'm not being efficient if I let this go. Like I'm just letting resources sit there, because your resources don't just endlessly go up; they hit maxes because you have to get more storage, and if you don't have enough storage, you'll hit your max. So you won't be producing it, and you're wasting time if you don't. And it's like, I need to do the thing. I need to convert this coal and iron into steel so that I can build. And like, anyway.
This truly is the Dark Souls of clickers.
That's what and it's been around forever. As I was looking into, I had never heard of it, but like I was Googling, because I was trying to figure out something. Like sometimes, like, what the fuck? How do I get past this? Or what's a better way to do this? Am I doing something stupid? And like I was looking at like Reddit posts, or maybe it was other forums from like 8 years ago. So the guy that's been making, I don't know anything about him. I didn't spend enough time looking into it. I just had the idea to talk about this right before we started recording, so I didn't prepare anything at all. But like it has cloud saves in it, so where you can save your thing and go bring it with you anywhere with the account. It's not just tied to your one browser like most places are, like the Candy Shop game, stuff like that. There's various other idle clickers out there, but
Let's try them all.
It's most of them. So it's insane how detailed it is, and how like I was started to read stuff about it, like other people playing it and how they go crazy in depth of like min-maxing this,
like the power creep
runs. Yeah, and it's just like the fact that I'm talking about it now, I want to open it, but I've told myself I'm only doing it at work.
So when you said it was a clicker on a browser, I searched it up and I'm looking at it right now, and it is very unassuming. It's just a white screen with pretty basic table in the middle.
Yeah, so let me. You know what? I know we're not doing video yet.
We're not,
but why not? Let's just have fun.
Oh, you're gonna do it right now?
Yeah, why not? Just have it.
Okay. Just one more hit.
Just see what happens. It's just to show you guys. That's it. That's the only reason I'm doing it.
Anytime I want.
I can stop whenever I want. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm looking at it right now, and there are 2 buttons: gather catnip and refine catnip.
We'll see. Just give me 1 second. I'm almost there. I've almost got it. I got it. It'll be there. Nobody can see what I'm about to show these people, but I don't care. I'm going to show them anyway.
Sure. You can show us after the
live
pod. You can give us a big tour of your facility.
I will. Well, it's not. Well,
your catnip gathering
it up. A little bit here. And there's another thing that happens that a lot of things don't. Here we go. Can you guys see it? So it gets a little. Oh, I shared.
There it is. Oh.
So it gets to be there's a lot of different buildings that you.
So what we're seeing on Otten's screen right now is a whole bunch of incrementing values on the left with a whole bunch of different resources, a whole bunch of tables with purchase options in the center, and then a series of like idle, like informational messages on the right hand side. I
would describe this UI as efficient.
Is this EVE Online, but without the 3D ability?
You have a bunch of shit you can build. And it takes a lot of resources to do it. There's a ton of resource stuff going on over here. I even forgot about, like, in your town, you assign your kittens to different roles to work in different areas to do certain things. And, like, you level them up in certain ways to increase their proficiency.
Pause. Please pause. Please PAWSE pause.
Come on.
Why is there a religion button?
Oh yeah, so religion, I forgot about the religion part of it. Religion might be the most important part of the game. Of course. Yeah, well, you're praising the sun because that's the Dark Souls of.
It's the Dark. Yeah, of course.
So
Jesus Christ.
So what happens is the more faith that you get, you can convert faith, which you can see over here, right here, into worship. And the more worship you have,
great audio content.
Worship has a percentage bonus, a flat percentage bonus to production on all your stuff. So the more faith you have, the more stuff it'll give you, and that stuff will carry over between runs. If you're smart enough to convert your worship into apocrypha, and then you can get it into your next game, your next run. But yeah, there's science. There's a workshop where you're building stuff, like you're building ships and trade ships and tankers and stuff to hold things.
Sure, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, there's other civilizations. You're like trading with the Nagas and zebras and the lizards.
Yeah. And then the spiders.
About that,
of course.
You got to trade because you need. How else do you need your titanium efficiently? You can't produce that yourself. That's where the zebras come in, man.
Right, and you have to give them catnip because we know zebras fucking love catnip.
You got to get them. So anyway. That's Kittens Game,
and you're on day 229.
I don't even want to look. I don't want to show that.
Why are we wasting our fucking time on V Rising guides when we should be writing guides for Kittens Game?
Do not show this game to Robert.
I'm going to
have to lose my full-time guide
save
writer.
this conversation every single time anyone ever gets on my fucking case about being a Kingdom Hearts fan. I just need to point them to this absolute lunacy.
It's not lunacy. How dare you?
I think my favorite thing is how straightforward and analytical your delivery is in all of this, because you know exactly what you're talking. This has been your life for the past month. Like, you're very keenly aware. Yes, yeah.
Also, these stats are wrong. Is my save fucked? I'll be pissed.
Oh no. I was about to say you might be the world's leading expert on this game, but I think I know for a fact you're not. Yeah, that's the
not even
part.
Close. People are talking about shit that I don't even know. Like space isn't up here. Why isn't that up here?
Space.
Where's space at?
Yeah, You know, the religion in space.
Did you load the wrong save?
Oh, you haven't gotten to the multiverse yet? The multiverse of cats?
See, you joke, but that may be in the game.
I'm sure it's there.
I think. Oh, I'm going to be really pissed off. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, people are hearing live as Otten's life is just shattered.
This is.
I might be done with it now.
Yeah, I was going to say this is the kind of thing that would kill a game when you like lose a day's worth of progress.
I think I when opening it to show you fuckers that are just making fun of me for it, I think I saved over it. Oh, no. I'm so pissed right now. This reminds me of way back in the day, loaning my Pokemon. Speaking of Pokemon earlier, loaning it to my friend's cousin so he wanted to play, and then he wiped my save, little prick. This is what this is. See, like this observe the sky thing? I shouldn't have that.
Because the sky has been fully observed.
No, because I've got it automatic. Fuck. See why? This is what chipped me off. 2 days.
Only 2 days. Oh,
no way.
No.
That should be significantly higher.
Wait, have you lost 28 days of progress? Is that what that means?
Well, that's hours that this screen has been open.
Okay.
And so obviously I'm not having it up 24/7. I'm not insane. I am very sad now.
It's not going to stop him from playing.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to play this right when we're done. Like, right after we say the recording's off. Like, I'm ready to click gather catnip. I'm ready to start this journey.
I can't believe that you're going to do that, Robert. I've already got my second library.
Anyway, you've been playing, huh? Just a little bit.
Oh yeah, you gotta like manage your energy, and there's happiness. Oh, and there's pollution to be aware of.
You know what these screens like the simplicity of these screens remind me of that game that we probably all played in high school, Nation States. You remember that super simple?
Yeah, right. We all played
definitely.
that game.
Really? You guys didn't play that?
Sure thing, Boomer.
Yeah, I know about it. I didn't play it.
Otten knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was like you would create your own state, right? Your own like nation, and then make decisions along the way that swayed how your populace. And there was like nothing beyond kind of like real basics. And then you could join other countries in like essentially a UN, and then there was just all this drama and stuff behind it. It was all just text chat and yeah.
I'm safe, guys.
Did you fix
I'm
it?
Safe. No. What happens is, so you have to sync your saves online, but it saves within your browser wherever you're at. So when I get back to work, it'll be what I have.
Nice. Oh.
You have no,
thank God.
Like you're joking right now. I am genuinely super relieved.
I do understand that
because I really want to see where this ends because it seemed fucking insane to me, and I spent too much time on this thing to lose that. I'm like a fucking degenerate gambler, right? Is what I feel like. Like I've been on the slots too long.
We've just had Otten go through all 5 stages of grief in the past 5 minutes live on air.
It's a crash course.
I'm sweating. Like that's how upset I was. This was gone.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's such a shame that this isn't a video. Like,
see me all fucking. Oh, I was genuinely. Like, I was going to leave this and be in a bad mood the rest of the day. That will ruin my fucking day. But thankfully I had that revelation.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
I kind of understand, because there was a time in my life where I played a lot of Clicker Heroes. I don't know if you guys played that on Flash.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's that same idea. Like, you're constantly climbing.
Clicker stuff back the day.
Yeah, and Clicker Heroes was like you constantly reset your progress, but every time you do, you gain resource to make the next time faster, et cetera, et cetera. So it's that same, endless wheel of I'm going to get better next time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what's nice about this is in comparison to some other ones, you're not actually doing all that much clicking. Like, I'm not having to sit here and fucking spam click gather catnip or something like that.
Right.
A bunch. Like, you get over that pretty quickly because you start producing it. But Anyway, that's Kittens Game. If you're looking for a pretty involved thing where it's not necessarily mindless, because you make decisions in this that have far-reaching effects that you don't realize from the beginning, because everything's very exponential of how it goes up, and it goes up pretty quickly. By quickly, I mean, a week from now, you'll see, wow, that was much faster now. But
this did not go where I thought it was going to go.
No, right? No one could have predicted this.
That's why I put it on there. I was like, nobody's going to know what the hell I'm talking about.
No one could have predicted this in the
slice. It's a great little idle game to have. It's perfect for at work. I don't know if it's perfect. My job performance has significantly declined. No. But it's fun. You don't get to name your kittens. They come in named already. What are they named? Maddie Clay. Bunch of
Oreo Clay.
Bark. Dusk.
Miko Shadow.
Yeah.
Like you've got Jasper there.
Angel Gaze.
Angel Gaze. So are you up to your 4th library now, Stretch? How are you doing?
How many libraries you got?
No, I didn't have enough catnip production, so 5 kittens starved to death.
Yeah, you got to keep them fed.
Yeah.
Got to have the catnip rolling in or they'll just die.
All right.
Yeah,
eventually your libraries can become data centers.
Okay, well, I cannot wait for next week where we have the obligatory 5-minute Kittens Game update at the beginning.
I will happily do that.
Of really every episode moving forward now.
It will be 40 hours worth of progression.
Yeah.
Because I work 40 hours.
It's a full-time job.
When I'm not joking to you, when I log on the computer, I have to have a thing up for certain things for work immediately. I'm logged into Kittens Game.
Yes.
Immediately. Like there's other stuff I need to start doing. I'm like, yeah, but this can start just going in the background, right? The more time you have, the more you get.
I'm surprised you don't just have that browser extension as part of your run at startup.
Oh, I can't mess with any of that stuff at work.
Well, I do see a button that says get the app up there. And I feel like once you click that, that's when you
it's game over.
There's an app for your phone, which I refuse to get.
Right.
I will not get it. Next week, it's going to be
we'll check in with
I broke down.
Yeah. Next week is going to be like, sorry,
fine with
the
cocaine, but heroin, nah.
That's the thing with these clickers, man. They are kind of drug-like, because it's
100%.
Just one more hit,
I will say this one looks like it takes your time, but that's it. It's not predatory like a lot of the other hey, use watch an ad for 4 hours of time to have passed kind of level of shady.
That said, dude could slap one ad slot on there. You're good.
Can I ask, while we're just here freewheeling it at this point, so is Cookie Clicker the gateway drug, and then, I need something a little harder, and then is it Universal Paper Clips, and then, I need something harder, and now it's this? Is that kind of the
progression is Cookie Clicker's your intro, probably.
Right, and then gateway.
I would say the Paper Clips probably is the next one, and the next one up is probably what it's called, a candy shop or candy stand. And where you're collecting candy, and it's a little mini RPG in your
what the fuck
browser.
Is happening right now?
Next week I'll talk about that. I forgot it's candy something. You're collecting candy, and it's got a lot of RPG stuff. It's got a little mini game stuff.
Otten's Clicker Corner.
Going into it, and I would say that's second, and then probably Paper Clips after that. And this is definitely the most complex thing I've seen. I don't know what apps are out there because I'm not gonna fucking bother, but. I've played too much of this.
Yes.
My brain is thinking about this.
Okay. I'm going to put this away from you now, Otten. Just gonna put that away.
Okay. Well, you hid it. You hid it from us, not from him.
That's true, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We've already lost him.
Anyway.
So 4 episodes from now, I'll have a month in update. I'm going to try to have it up as much as... Yeah, we'll see if I can catch up to you. I might have to do I won't. I might have to do the cloud saving thing, though. We'll see. We'll see. But I think that's a wrap for this week's episode of the TechRaptor podcast. We hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please feel free to leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on, and share it with a friend if you haven't already. It would help us out immensely. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't, where we'll always get new episodes from us whenever we publish. And of course, leave us a comment down below, either on YouTube or on our site, and let us know, do you know what the fuck game Rut was talking about? What was it, Nation something?
Nation states. Look it up.
Do you know about Nation states? Yeah, let us know. Let us know down below, and also let us know what your RuneScape level is right now. Let us know in the comments.
link your GeoCities in there too.
Yeah, link your GeoCities.
Angel Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you want more from us, we are always publishing news, reviews, and features throughout the week at TechRaptor.net. And if you want more of this show, we will be back next Monday, and we will see you then.